Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are expected to have a phone call soon. The big question is, will this call change the course of the Russia-Ukraine war? Let's break it down. With the U.S. election approaching, Trump has suggested he could end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours if he wins. Meanwhile, Putin continues his aggressive stance in Ukraine. So, what might they discuss? And how could this impact global politics? Trump and Putin have a long history. During Trump's presidency, he often spoke positively about Putin, even when tensions were high. If they talk now, it could mean several things. Trump might be testing the waters before the U.S. election. Putin could be looking for signals about America's future stance on Russia, and it might influence how the war plays out in the coming months. Trump has repeatedly said he would negotiate peace quickly. He might suggest freezing the conflict or pushing Ukraine to accept territorial losses. But here's the problem. Would Ukraine or its allies agree? Trump's approach is unpredictable. If he returns to the White House, his policies could be very different from Biden's, which strongly supports Ukraine. Putin's goal is clear. He wants to control parts of Ukraine and weaken NATO influence. If Trump signals a softer stance, Putin might see it as an opportunity to push forward. If Trump pulls back U.S. support for Ukraine, Europe may struggle to maintain the same level of aid and military support. This phone call might not lead to immediate changes, but it could send strong signals to world leaders. If Trump and Putin appear friendly, Ukraine and its allies may start worrying about losing U.S. support. There are also economic factors to consider. The war has had a significant impact on global markets, with rising oil prices and supply chain disruptions affecting countries far beyond Ukraine and Russia. If Trump suggests a deal that reduces sanctions on Russia in exchange for a ceasefire, this could reshape the global economy. Some countries might welcome a reduction in sanctions to stabilize markets, while others could see it as a sign of weakness. Another aspect is NATO's role. Since the invasion of Ukraine, NATO has expanded its presence in Eastern Europe. If Trump signals a reduction in U.S. commitments to NATO, European countries may have to step up their own defenses. This could create tensions between allies, as some European nations have been reluctant to increase military spending. We also have to consider public opinion. Many Americans are divided on U.S. involvement in Ukraine. While some support continued military aid, others believe the U.S. should focus on domestic issues. Trump's stance on this issue could be a key talking point in his election campaign. If he promises to end the war quickly, he might gain support from voters who are tired of U.S. involvement in foreign conflicts. However, if his approach appears too favorable to Putin, it could alienate other voters. So, what can we expect from this call? While it's unlikely to bring immediate changes, it could lay the groundwork for future negotiations. Trump's conversation with Putin might give us insight into how he would handle the war if he returns to office. It could also influence how other world leaders react, shaping the next phase of international diplomacy. The question remains, can Trump really end the war in 24 hours, as he claims? Most experts say it's not that simple. Negotiations between Ukraine and Russia have failed multiple times, and both sides have deep-rooted reasons for continuing the conflict. Even if Trump brokers a deal, enforcing it would be another challenge. Would Ukraine accept territorial losses? Would Russia fully comply with any agreement? Would NATO and the European Union support Trump's approach? These are the key issues to watch. Unwana Paul Prince ITAEO, the 24th of March, 2025, 3:39 p.m. Historically, U.S. relations with Russia have been complex. Since the Cold War, tensions have risen and fallen, with moments of cooperation and conflict. Trump's presidency saw attempts at diplomacy, but also controversies, such as allegations of Russian interference in U.S. elections. If he returns to office, will his approach be more effective, or will it create new challenges for the U.S. and its allies? At the end of the day, this phone call is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. The war in Ukraine is shaped by many factors, including military strategy, economic pressure, and international diplomacy. Trump and Putin's conversation might reveal new insights, but the true impact will depend on what happens next. Another critical point to examine is how the global community will respond. If Trump's stance is perceived as weakening U.S. support for Ukraine, countries like China and Iran may see an opportunity to increase their influence. Meanwhile, Eastern European nations bordering Russia may feel increased pressure to prepare for future threats. The geopolitical balance is delicate, and even small shifts can create ripple effects worldwide. Beyond the political sphere, the humanitarian cost of the war cannot be ignored. Millions of Ukrainians have been displaced, and thousands of lives have been lost. A potential peace deal might ease the immediate violence, but rebuilding Ukraine would require years of effort and international cooperation. If Trump's plan does not include a comprehensive rebuilding strategy, long-term stability could remain elusive. We also need to think about the legal and ethical aspects. Any agreement that allows Russia to keep Ukrainian territory could violate international laws and the United Nations Charter. Such a move might set a dangerous precedent, encouraging other nations to use military force for territorial expansion. This raises concerns among legal experts who argue that a hasty peace deal could undermine global security frameworks. The upcoming call between Trump and Putin is not just a diplomatic event. It's a signal to the world about the future of U.S. foreign policy. Whether this leads to peace or more uncertainty depends on what is said, how world leaders respond, and what actions follow. What do you think? Will Trump's possible return to power help end the war, or will it make things worse? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this breakdown useful, hit the like button and subscribe for more updates on global politics. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. This has been Pulse of Politics, your source for global and trending news.